Flanders Fields was written in the First World War by Lieutenant Colonel John Crae, a Canadian soldier. In 1915, he was in Belgium when he wrote the poem, and it remains to this day to be one of the most famous war memorial poems ever written. Although John McCrae had been a doctor for years, it was impossible to get used to the suffering, the screams, and the blood which he witnessed during the battle in Flanders Fields. It had been an ordeal that he had hardly thought possible, and later he wrote, "I wish I could embody on paper some of the varied sensations of that 17 days of hell." One death particularly affected Colonel Crae. A close friend and former student of his had been killed by a shell burst and was buried in a little cemetery outside Dr. McCrae's dressing station. He had performed the funeral ceremony in the absence of the chaplain. The next day, sitting on the back of an ambulance, he vented his anguish by composing a poem, his eyes strained to his friend's grave. The poem, In Flanders Field, is an exact description of the scene in front of him. It immediately became popular because it echoed perfectly the sacrifices made in the battles on the Western Front. This poem also led to poppy being adopted as the flower of remembrance for the dead. In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.